So I'm going to ask the AI system that I found, pretty cool AI system. You guys might have heard of it. It's called OpenAI, to make images for the music that you guys are hearing. So the images will change every now and again, depending upon what the AI feels the music is saying. So I'm going to add this at the end. My experience with jazz music thus far has mainly been based around the small samples that have been taken from hip-hop producers in some of my favorite hip-hop songs. And the little snippets that I've heard have always spiked my curiosity. I always thought the music sounded fascinating and deep, rich. But my preconceptions going into jazz music is that it's heady and it's difficult to get into, maybe a little bit more or too sophisticated for my tastes. That's how I've always felt about jazz music, and so I've avoided it for a long time. But I've always had an inkling also to maybe discover more about the music, and people have been challenging me on this channel to try and find out more, maybe try a couple of tracks. And so I thought I'd start with Miles Davis first. He's a name that sticks out to me. He's one of those figures that seems to have transcended his genre of music. He had a very complicated life, a very tragic life at times, I'd say, and one where I think his maybe genius, or at least what I've read, his genius was maybe not recognized strongly enough while he was alive. I'm curious to hear. This is one of his most famous tracks. It's one that has also been sampled quite a lot. So here we go. This is Blue in Green. So as you guys who watch the channel normally know, the video is usually accompanied by lyrics on the screen to help me and you guys follow along with the themes of the story, the lyrics. But this is an instrumental track, so what I'll do is something slightly different. I'll add and try and incorporate AI into this video. So I'm going to ask the AI system that I found, pretty cool AI system. You guys might have heard of it. It's called OpenAI, to make images for the music that you guys are hearing. So the images will change every now and again, depending upon what the AI feels the music is saying. So I'm going to add this at the end, and you guys will let me know whether or not the images that you see on the screen match the music that is being played. And I think that's going to be a cool little experiment that we can run here on the channel. So fingers crossed that will go well. Other than that, here we go. This is Blue in Green by Miles Davis. Whoa. That legit gave me chills, man. Whoa. The restraint in the music, the way in which it's holding back and only letting ever so slightly the emotion kind of seep through this little pinprick and come through into the music is really a beautiful effect. It makes it so much more impactful. You know, I almost picture like a wall. And then like a dam or a leak in a dam, and it's like there's so much emotion that is almost being pressurized through this one point. I think he's playing the horn, right? A French horn, I guess it would be for Miles Davis. What an unbelievable sound, man. It sounds so melancholy. You guys hear that rubbing effect that is being put? What is that sound? It's like something being scraped over the top of a cymbal. It sounds like it adds texture to the noise, adds texture to the sound. Very, very unique effect. Look, what is that? piano almost falling like raindrops. Building. Whoa. It's interesting the effect it has on me. It's somewhere that sits in between like hope and absolute despair. I don't know how he's managed to pull that off. It kind of like oscillates. One time I hear it, especially when he's blowing on the horn, it sounds so sad. But then the keys can be hopeful at times, and I don't know how you make a thing that is both of those things at once together. That is an unbelievable feat that you've managed to pull off. So I was trying to look up what the instruments were that were being played. So just to get it right, it's a trumpet, a tenor saxophone played by John Coltrane, Bill Evans on the piano, the unbelievably restrained piano, and the double bass, which I've not spoken about yet, but it's interesting the way that they play the bass in jazz. I've not really experienced it like this before, where bass is like almost a constant effect. In normal pop music, you know, bass lines are almost the most important thing in a lot of pop music because it is what you dance to in a sense. But it's so much more restrained. It goes sparse at certain times. Very interesting. See, it's not doing too much, but it's there. That effect of the drum, I think it's his sticks on the snare maybe. I'm so curious to see what the images that the AI comes up with, because what I see in my head is a rainy day. And like, I'm not a smoker, a rainy night, I should say, a really, really rainy night. In a city as well, city lights, neon lights. I see, I'm not even a smoker, but I see myself with a cigarette listening to this. And I'm not even sad right now. You know, I'm in a great mood, but it makes me feel depressed in a great way, in a cathartic way, you know, in a way art should. It should take you and transport you to the feeling of the song, and it does that. I'm even holding my fingers like this as if I have a cigarette in my mouth. that just tilted my mood, my emotions, what I was going through while I was listening to that. It made me contemplative about life. You know, it put me, I don't know, man. That's an unbelievable song, I'll tell you that much. So I don't think it's just Miles Davis as well, the brilliance behind this thing. I understand he's also a composer. I mean, this is a learning experience for me, so I'm learning about the song as I listen to it. But John Coltrane is a person I've heard about before, and then Bill Evans and Paul Chamberlain, these guys, Chambers I should say, and Jimmy Cobb, who's on the drums. All of these guys are really well-renowned musicians of their own. So I guess it's because, you know, just the way the Beatles were, you know, 4 brilliant musicians coming together. It's multiple genius jazz players coming together for a track that create this effect. Because, I mean, this is so detached from essentially what I normally listen to, and yet it still had this amazing effect on me. I'm very curious to see what the images were, because what I see in my head is definitely like a rainy night and a cigarette and neon lights and people milling around, but it's all kind of in a blur for you. You know, I imagine almost Taxi Driver. If you ever watched the Martin Scorsese film, brilliant film, probably my favorite film. Great track, man. What an experience. I'm glad I got to share that with you guys. Catch you guys hopefully on the next one, or maybe on the next jazz track I check out if you guys did enjoy this one.